The way the technology operates is that we will provide the patients with an Android app. Now, from a patient's point of view, they will only ever know the drugs that have been dispensed to them. So we're using key NHS-driven technologies like DMD database, which will become a mandatory requirement in the next couple of years. Historically, we will be able to then actually identify which drugs have been given to them. The patient would then use the scanning feature. So the patient will scan the packet with the 2D barcode that's on that packet of drugs that's just been dispensed to them. That unique identifier will then be that's mapped to the Android client and our cloud-based solution and the reverse supply chain. Gives us a generic information about the particular products and its clinical usage and what it's there for. Beyond that, we have a number of checkboxes and markers there. Whether the drug is okay to consume, whether the drug has expired, because we serialized that initially and the batch and expiry dates when they were coming in. We can actually then manage the stock rotation of goods at the pharmacy and ensure that that doesn't get dispensed to anybody that's already been expired, or the drugs that are with the patient that might have expired since they got them. Also, we have the two additional features, the recalled notification and the counterfeiting of drugs markers there. Once the prescription's been dispensed and the patient's got the drugs and we've identified using the unique identifier that the drugs are okay to consume, then it's about the maintenance and management and monitoring of these particular drugs and how the patient uses them. So the app itself has an built-in alarm mechanism there. So we know when the drugs have been dispensed on this particular day, and we can identify that the drugs are for they are for a number of days. Set the alarm there, and it's 3 times a day or 4 times a day, and you can say what time, and it even tells you that it's actually a tablet that you have to take for that particular drug type. And we'll save that, and once it's been saved, an alarm will trigger every time it's time to take the drug. So that way you always got a record there, and we can actually then monitor that remotely to identify whether the patient's taken the drug. We can get additional information on that particular drug, its use, its interactions. We can have videos, we can have best use on how to actually consume the drug. So there's an issue of how people don't fully use inhalers or applicator pens for insulin injection, or solubles, they use too much water or not enough, or they take it wrong times a day. The fact is that the application and the reverse supply chain gives us a direct narrow channel into the patient. We can customize messages for that particular patient's care and their need. Without which there is always an issue, right? There's always a risk that we're actually leaving the onus on the patients to come when they've identified what issues they've got. They will tend to first go to the GP, and the GP will then refer them back to the usual protocol of going to the JAV. We're cutting that out and actually getting them the data that they need at the right time.